Well, first and foremost, Holy Spirit, casting away all dark energies sent to harm or disturb me, my loved ones, and you. So, I am going to clear out the energy right now. Right, Holy Spirit, what's going on in the energy at this time? For the collective. Mm. Alrighty. So, there could be someone from your past that's like, they're watching you. And it's like they're watching you grow and glow. They're definitely in the spotlight when it comes to that individual, and then another individual's energy came up. Oh, this is your energy. So your energy, your wishes are currently being fulfilled. The divine is definitely working on your behalf, for you to receive this legacy, this success, this generational wealth, and it's coming up. This is really good energy, but I can't say the same about this past energy. So I'm going to clarify the Six of Cups because it's giving like envy. Okay, so we got the Emperor. So you definitely could be Aries that I'm talking to. This could be divine masculine energy. Holy Spirit, clarify this Emperor. Okay. This could be a situation that you ghosted, or like you took a break from them, you stopped talking to them. Pretty much you are not in contact with this individual. So what about them? Like, oh, okay. Judgment, like it came out kind of on the side. So there's somebody that is currently under judgment at this time, but it's like this masculine that could be watching you. They are definitely they're kind of in fear because they feel like they missed an opportunity with you. Yeah, somebody is kinda, they're not really all that emotionally stable at this time. Somebody's definitely hurting, because they're realizing the error in their ways. Mhm. Yeah, you standing on your boundaries. You're definitely practicing tough love at this time. You're being honest with yourself and at the same time being honest with others because you had individuals in your energy that were very messy. Like they definitely yeah, like you reached a breaking point with the situation and you decided like, no, I gotta walk away from this. Hi. Clap out his 501, Holy Spirit. Mhm. Somebody's big mad. And it's like they definitely feel away. They definitely feel away. And it's like this individual thinks that you have like options. Hi. With this Hierophant card, it definitely could be a Taurus that I'm talking about. What about this Hierophant? You're definitely standing as a leader at this time. Yeah, somebody felt like they were a player. And somebody is realizing that, you have a lot of strength. It's like everything that they didn't think that you were, you actually are, and somebody is realizing it. Yeah, and it's because you're very consistent, you're a hard worker, and you also have, like, a good routine, and somebody is definitely feeling a way about that. There is, like, a energy of envy. Mhm. You set boundaries against these individuals that were trying to play in your face, honestly. Somebody was very greedy, and they were very possessive, honestly. Yeah, and you chose to walk away. You stepped out of that crappy energy, and it definitely, aided in you completing out of this cycle. So that's really good. Work hard, Holy Spirit. Mhm. So it's like you're currently like processing your feelings at this time about, the things that could have happened in the past. You're definitely doing it in a healthy way, and that is leading you to a lot of new things to come in. You definitely have some financial opportunities that are coming your way. So it's prevalent that you do remain focused, okay? Make sure that, you're persevering, because you definitely deserve all the blessings and the abundance that are coming your way. You definitely have a lot coming in. And your intuition is guiding you literally right towards this abundance, all right? Yeah, you came up as a star, and it's crazy that it fell on the floor. And it's pretty much like you are the star in the situation. Like it's a lot of main character energy as to where, there are a lot of individuals that are watching you. Okay. These individuals are trying to see what you're going to do next and things of that nature. And honestly, it's not a bad energy. You are in solitude, or you could be wanting to be in solitude to where it's like you don't want like all these people watching you. Clap is four swords. Yeah, and it's about giving. So you are a person that is like you are a giver, and at this time it's like you're working on that. Just because you care about somebody, it doesn't mean that you have to give, give, give. You know what I'm saying? Like you're looking to be in the energy of receiving, okay? And you definitely are in this energy of receiving, but there are some things that you have to work on, especially with this Fool card. Like you have a fresh start coming your way, okay? But you have to not be so hard on yourself, okay? You have gone through this Tower moment where it was like you had to deal with the pain, you had to deal with the hurt, but you learned your lesson pretty much. You learned your lesson. Yeah, like you did so much hard work, so definitely continue to manage your energy at this time, okay? Make sure that you're remaining grounded. You definitely are like you're embarking on this new beginning. You're embarking on this new path, and it's definitely moving in the positive directions, but it seems as though you are being very hard on yourself, okay? Yeah, and this is what you deserve. You deserve to be celebrated. You deserve for individuals to share with you. You deserve time spent around like-minded individuals. Okay, you definitely deserve that. hmm And it's like the way that you move through conflicts is something that is admired. Okay, because it's like you're forgiving individuals, but it's not for them. It's for you. It's for you to move forward. Hello, I'm doing good. Yeah, and you're realizing like it's time to move forward from all this negativity. People have a choice. These individuals have a choice about like where they're going to go, what they're going to do, and they're choosing to go towards the darkness. But you made that choice and that decision. You exercised your free will to move towards the light. I know that's right. hmm and the first step was for you to let go of the past. Like, pretty much, you've been doing a lot of healing. You've been doing a lot of inner child healing, a lot of soul searching, shadow work. Like, you definitely have been moving in the right directions. Like, you learned how to pause in order to gain perspective on the things that are happening around you. You're no longer just making decisions, just to do it. You're not rushing yourself. And that's really good. hmm High priestess. So you definitely are following your intuition, and your intuition is leading you right to this abundance, right to health, wealth, like literally. So you definitely need to work on emotionally expressing yourself, okay? Expressing yourself in a positive way that is conducive to your healing journey, okay? Hi, Kim. So definitely when it comes to you expressing yourself emotionally, you yes, you're moving in love and light. You feel me? But at the same time, when you have someone that is trying to play in your energy, play in your face, and you see that person in front of you in the 3D, sometimes you do turn the other cheek. But if your intuition is telling you to speak up for yourself, you're speaking up for what you think is right. Even if you are speaking up for someone else, speaking up for your children, you're definitely being called to do that, okay? Because yes, the divine called judgment on individuals, but you speaking up, using this emotional expression, that is calling judgment as well. You are a divine being, okay? So you have to stand in your divinity and not allow anyone around you to participate in low vibrational behaviors, especially if they want to be in your energy, okay? What else, Holy Spirit? hmm And this is because you're certain of your path. There are no illusions. People cannot cast illusions around you. So if you see somebody that's trying to pull the wool over your eyes, definitely speak on it. Okay, speak up for yourself. Speak up for whoever. Because it seems as though, yeah, like there was a necessary ending that happened, but maybe you didn't get the opportunity to speak your piece. And maybe that could be, something that has been bothering you. What about this Ten of Swords, Holy Spirit? Yeah, like you've kind of been feeling stagnant about the direction of, this communication, honestly. And, Follow your intuition. Speak up for yourself. I know I said that like 4 times, but somebody really need to hear it. Okay. Yeah. Kuna one. Stand in your authentic power. Okay. Stand up for yourself. Okay. You can remain optimistic. You can remain authentic, but you also have to speak up for yourself. Okay. Hmm. What's that saying? The tongue is mightier than the sword. Yeah. Stand in your divinity. You can move within love while also defending your honor. Okay? You are honoring the most high by, making sure individuals respect your boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Don't let people cross your boundaries. Yeah, pretty much it's all about standing in your power. Honestly, you're moving in love and you're also standing in your power, okay? You can lovingly let someone know where they got you fucked up at, pretty much. See? Courage, the strength card, it represents courage. It represents standing up. It represents having self-control. Okay. What else? Yeah, pray. Honestly. Because these individuals, they're mentally blocked, and that's why people try to force themselves into your energy, but they can't. They're trying to force themselves into your energy, but they can't do it. They can't do it. They're gonna try, but they can't. Right? And even when it comes to individuals, some people, out in the wild, that's what I call it when you go outside. Like people try to do things to try to bait you, and it's because they want that emotional exchange. Individuals like to spread negativity. That's what they want because they have a demon doing their bidding, but you are a divine being. Your light is irritating another's demons. You get what I'm saying? And that is why you stand up for yourself. They literally sound like the poltergeist. Listen, I had an experience like that the other day at Aldi's. Crazy lady, okay? Crazy lady. And I was like, honestly, like when she did what she did, like she took like my groceries out the cart and like threw them on the ground because she was mad over a box. I was at Aldi and I was like, you need Jesus. Like it gave me the cringe, okay? Because I'm like, girl, like, ew. Mm-hmm. With this lovers card, like honestly, I can't lie. The lovers, it represents unions, it represents bonds, it represents, moving with love, having self-love. You're showing the most high how much you love yourself by how you're conducting yourself. Okay. It's not just about being on your best behavior, it's about standing in your power and believing that. It's one thing to say that you love yourself, but do you love yourself? And that's why we do the journaling, we do the shadow work, we do the inner child healing. Okay. And every time that you stand up for what is right, you are healing your inner child. Okay. Because there were times as you were a child, things were happening and you had no control over, how people are treating you. Sometimes you had adults treating you weird or whatever. And it's like you are healing that. Okay, we have adult traumas and then we have childhood traumas. You loving yourself, you like focus on, healing that part of you. And a big part of it is emotional expression. Okay. And it takes a lot. It does take a lot, but you got to do it. Okay. And that is what's going to cause your horizon to expand in a way that you will see it in the 3D, because in the 5D, you're working on your healing. You know what I'm saying? You're looking in the mirror, you start feeling better, you start glowing a little bit, you waking up in a good mood, you're journaling, and you actually can feel the changes that are happening. You know what I'm saying? But when you want your horizons to expand in the 3D to where it's like you want that abundance, you want that money to come in, you don't want to worry about struggling, you don't want to this, that. You know what I'm saying? You want that divine love to come in. That is going to happen once you fully stand in your divinity, fully stand in your power, and actually let individuals know, like, really stand in that faith and be proud of it. Be proud of it. Okay, even if it's you against the group, it is what it is. If you gotta be a one-man army, be that, right? Because at the end of the day, you got the divine having your back. I know, sometimes it might seem like we're outnumbered, but we're not. We're not. There are a lot of God-fearing individuals out there. There are a lot of individuals that are light workers, but I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of us that do light work, we're not always out there. We're inside. It is rare that you will run into a light bearing individual. It's rare. And then when you do, make the most out of that. You know what I'm saying? But we are here to heal the collective consciousness, you know? And it's like when you speak up for yourself, you are sowing a seed. You're planting a seed in someone. So either divine justice can be called or this individual can heal. All right. You don't know how many people you have healed just by telling somebody where they had you messed up at. So it's a lot. There are no coincidences, pretty much. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Yeah, like somebody might be feeling a little bit exhausted. You might be feeling a little bit exhausted, and it could be because it's a lot of work that you're doing. Expect to see a renewed energy coming in for you soon. Okay, it's just somebody has a lot of individuals around them that are lacking of faith. They really don't have any faith. So just make sure you're focusing more on you than you are on other individuals. Okay. Work on grounding your energy, spending some time in the sunlight. Even if you don't want to go outside, sometimes maybe it's raining, maybe the weather, whatever. The simple thing of looking out your window, looking at the trees, looking at the sun, looking at the moonlight, appreciating nature, appreciating outside, looking at the sky. Those are things that help you to feel grounded. Okay. So, what if you look outside, ain't no trees outside? Be realistic. That's not how it is for everyone. You can literally play nature sounds. Okay. Playing nature sounds. Literally, you can drink some water, run some water. That is also a way to ground your energy. You can meditate. Okay, those are things that can help to ground your energy. And you can listen to frequency music. That definitely does help to ground your energy as well. But definitely nature sounds. Like if you've been feeling exhausted, definitely nature sounds will help. Oh, I get it. I had a neighbor. Oh man, that lady was horrible. Okay, but what you need to do is, in the Bible when it says to pray for your enemies, pray that they heal. Honestly, pray that they heal. All right. And they might be getting moved up out of there because that lady that was next door, she ended up getting evicted. And I just avoided her, because I didn't do nothing to that lady. But for some reason, like something was just off with her. Like, mm, just focus on you. Keep loving you. Okay. Don't let nobody steal your shine. Don't let nobody trick you up out of your spot. Okay. Because you deserve this throne that you're sitting on. Yeah, so somebody definitely could have some type of situation going on with like karmic individuals, okay? Five of Swords is in reverse. So that means when it comes to this conflict, when it comes to this difficult situation, there will be a positive outcome to this situation. All right? Clarify this Five of Swords in reverse, Holy Spirit. Yeah. As you rise in power, stand in your power, and continue to hit all these goals, meeting all these goals, making new goals, these individuals are going to be unsure about what they're doing. Now they're lacking confidence because at one point they were so confident in doing things to you to disrupt you, right? But they see you still going, they see you still smiling, they see you still glowing, they see you still shining, and now they're like, ooh, maybe I chose the wrong side. They throw stuff around. Oh no. Yeah, so I would recommend play your frequency music, okay? Play your frequency music, play your nature sounds. A good sound to do cuz at one point I was homeless and I was living in a motel. When I say it was a bunch of mess going on outside of that motel, I used to blast on the speakers frequency music. I would blast waterfalls. It's really good and that's also really good to ground your energy. Waterfalls. It's super loud, but it's not like that. It's like a white noise, I guess they call it. And it helps to drown out all that extra noise. Okay. And also meditation. Meditate. Lay down in your bed, close your eyes, and just meditate while listening to the sound, and all of it will be drowned out. Okay. Listen to the cardinals. Yeah, I mean nature sounds, like that definitely helps. That would definitely help you is listening to some nature sounds, okay? And then the fact that these individuals are throwing stuff and banging stuff, that means that they are being tormented. They are being tormented. So they think that they're messing with you. But when they go to sleep, all them little demons that they playing with is tormenting their ass in they sleep. Okay? That's why they trying to affect your sleep because they can't sleep, because they can't look themselves in the mirror. Okay? But yeah, this pure action that you're taking towards your healing is leading to a breakthrough for you. Okay? There's definitely gonna be a change coming in. And this change, listen, and this change literally, this change has to do with the negativity, with the individuals that are karmic, that are trying to cast illusions, that are trying to make you feel anything other than happy. All right, definitely a change that is going to happen. All right. And you walking into your victory season, you walking into your winning season, you gaining the success. All right, it's gonna have individuals feeling excluded. They are going to feel scarcity to the point where it's like everything that they had planned for you to experience and for you to feel, that is what they are experiencing. Okay, you know how there are some people out there that are saying the rapture is happening. It is happening, but it's happening in a different way than what everyone expects. All right, the veil is completely lifted. These individuals are no longer able to hide. You know what I'm saying? They can't hide behind a mask, right? So it's you on one side or the other. All right, you either standing in your divinity or you over here playing with the demons. It's no in between. You either here or here. All right, and that is also going to help you to separate yourself from what doesn't serve your highest purpose. All right, if you see individuals playing with God, that's the individuals that you cutting off. All right, you're no longer trying to save people because they know the difference between right and wrong. All right? Everyone has free will. You can't affect another person's free will. Okay? Yeah, like I mean, you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like ear protection, sometimes do it. Sometimes, you have like I wear my AirPods and stuff like that. But honestly, you do have to practice though, like grounding yourself through the noise. All right. And it's difficult to do that, but that is something that you are going to have to learn how to do. All right. Because there's going to be times when you're going to be outside, you're going to be around things, and somebody might say something and they're trying to trigger you, and you have to act like they don't exist. Sometimes that's things that can happen to you, because you want to be prepared in any type of situation. All right. So just try to do what I suggested, and that'll also help you as well. Okay. But there are going to be people that are going to try to trigger you. I promise you, they're going to try to trigger you. But not giving them a reaction is the best thing that you could do. Okay, so you wear your ear protectors and things like that, if that's helping you to not, react and lash out, definitely go ahead and do that. All right, but there are going to be individuals that are going to try to affect your healing journey and try to trigger you because they just want to see that negative reaction because they're feeding off of that negative energy, so you're doing the best that you can, so don't be hard on yourself. Okay, and I know how that feels to have somebody constantly picking. I know how it feels, and that's why I cut a lot of individuals off. Okay, had to, because I can't. Hmm. So whoever I'm talking to, you definitely have a lot of forward momentum. All right. Because you're doing all the work to remain balanced. Okay. You're pouring into yourself. You're loving yourself. You're focused on your healing. Okay. And then you're also not holding on to resentment. You're not holding on to hate. You're not holding on to these negative energies that these individuals, that was the goal. Their goal was for you to have hate in your heart. Somebody seen how big that your heart was and they just wanted to mess that up. They wanted to mess that up. And they didn't. They didn't. And that is why they're mad. They are mad, okay? Listen, what I say. They mad. They mad because you stand in your ground. They are mad that you are divine being. They are mad that at the end of the day, no matter what somebody is doing, you always turn to God. You always turn to the Most High. You always turn to Yahweh. That's what you do because you have faith. All right. And that's something that a lot of people don't have. All right. A lot of people get faced with adversity and they just fold. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's why the Most High tests us. We go through so many tests. because we do have free will and we're building that trust, honestly. Okay, because there's a lot of false individuals out there. There are people out there that claim, they claim to the world that they're so God fearing, and when they get behind closed doors, they over there doing the darkest stuff. You get what I'm saying? So it's like we have to be able to stand our ground. And it's not just about having your ascended ancestors and having the most high. Like, it's about you standing in your divinity as well, because you have faith. The Bible says you have the faith of a mustard seed. Yes. Okay. But at this time, we are lions. Okay. We are divine warriors. All right. This is a fight. We're fighting against the darkness. We're fighting against the status quo. We're fighting against the matrix. You get what I'm saying? So, the more that you smile, the more that you love yourself, the more that you care and nurture yourself and heal that inner child, you're healing the world. Okay? And you're also making the path easier for future generations. Okay, the work that you're doing now is not just about you. Okay, so sometimes if you get so caught up in the things that you have going on, think about it. you know every time you say an affirmation, hell, every time you drink some water, you're healing the future generation. Think about it like that. Okay, because you are a leader. See, and this is a new perspective. Right? Just clarify what I said. This is a new perspective for you. All right. Because there was definitely someone that, they tried to emotionally manipulate you, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. And it's because the divine gave you clarity. Yes, generational curse breaker. That's pretty much what I said in a nutshell. All right. The step that you took, even you making the decision to focus on your healing, right? That broke a generational curse. All right. When it comes to divine beings, there's no instance where it's like a whole group. You feel me? Or a whole family situation. That's why we're always called the black sheep. That's why, lone wolf, that's why we're called that, because usually we by ourselves. We by ourselves doing it. And, it takes a lot of courage to do that. So make sure that you are hyping yourself up for real, because you have achieved so much every day that you move forward, every day that you wake up, and you appreciate all that God has blessed you with, even though you want more. You might want more, you might need more, but you have faith in the divine. You have faith that God is going to bring you these blessings, because you know that you deserve it. You know that you're divine inheritance. All right. Your inheritance was not this generational curse. It was meant to be broken. But you were the main one that stood on business like, hey, I'm not going to go along with this crap. All these outdated traditions, all these things that really didn't help you in the long run, you move past it. And that's not to say that we're perfect. No, nobody's perfect, but you're trying to be better every day. Every step that you take, it's to be better. And that right there is something that a lot of individuals can't do. A lot of people can't do it. Okay? Anything else, Holy Spirit? Yeah. The card is clarifying what I'm saying, but I'm gonna still pull them, okay? But you're definitely learning from trial and error at this time. Okay? When you get knocked down, get back. All right. If you set out to do something and you like, dang, I might have hit a wall, walk around that wall. You know what I'm saying? Dig a tunnel and get to the other side, because there's always a different way. The Most High is always going to make a way for you. I promise you. And I'm not just chatting. This is my real life. I am still healing right along with y'all. Okay. I'm not here to say I have all the answers and that I'm perfect or whatever. No, this is all through trial and error. Everything. Everything. If you want to go back and watch my first video, go ahead. Because I feel like all my videos, and I have over 800 videos. Okay. When I started reading tarot, I made mistakes. I had times when I was reading tarot, I had a stalker. In some of my videos, you can hear my crazy ex banging on my windows, banging on my door, trying to get in my house, and I'm still reading my cards. I'm still praying. Okay. That is something that it takes immense faith. Okay, it takes immense faith, but you can make it through the storm. If you feel like you are in the middle of a storm, I'm telling you, you can make it through the storm. All right, I'm telling you, you can and you will. All right, yeah, people be tripping. I'm gonna use my other deck. Somebody also could have someone that could be competing against them in some type of way, but it seems like they're competing with themselves. Yeah, so someone wants you to have conflicts with like some type of work that you're doing. Okay? And somebody sees you enjoying this um this space that you are in with mastering yourself, the space that you're in with like working on your skills, working on, developing your skills and, being ambitious, remaining ambitious. Somebody wants to affect that, but they can't. Confirmation every time that they try to cause conflicts or try to intimidate you in whatever type of way that they are, they're left feeling dumb. Yeah, this individual is they are committed to being low vibrational. They are committed to being a liar. They're committed to being a trickster, and that is why they are miserable. Literally. Listen, listen. These represent your blessings that are coming into you. This Wheel of Fortune represents that generational wealth. You feel me? You broke the generational curse. Now you're on the path to building this generational wealth because that is your divine inheritance. You are the only one in your bloodline to get to this point, and it wasn't easy. All right. Don't downplay what you went through. Don't. You went through it for a reason. You learned the lessons. All right. And do not be afraid to speak that, to speak your truth. All right. It's not to hurt anyone else. You're simply speaking your truth. Okay. Me as an example, like I've had, I have countless stories. Okay. It's insane. All right. Even thinking about just my parents alone, it's insane. And I used to feel ashamed to talk about what I went through. And now I realize, like, why should I be ashamed? They should be ashamed. You feel me? Because it's like these individuals that hurt you, they should be the ones that are ashamed. Never feel ashamed for what you have overcame. All right. Because it's not just about, oh, what I went through. No, you overcame it. All right. You climbed that mountain and you got to the top. You get what I'm saying? So the most high is sometimes putting you in a space of stillness to where you might not feel like things are moving, but they are. Okay. But the most high wants you to be at peace, even though there's a lot of chaos around you. What is it? Being the calm in the storm. All right. That is the goal of these high moments that the most high has us go through because they're tests. They are divine tests. Okay. And that is the time where you're going to be daydreaming. You're going to be doing your journaling. You're going to be grounding your energy. You're going to be going out on a picnic, taking yourself out, and that is the new beginning that you are meant to start coming out of this higher moment. Okay, because you can't have a struggle period and then you get a windfall of success because you're not going to be able to hold on to it. Okay, you might temporarily, but it might put you in a worse situation. All right, that's why sometimes we go through these hermit modes, we go through these times where we're alone, we go through these times when we do have lack, where we have to do a lot with a little. All right, that's testing your adaptability. Okay, and you are manifesting a lot to come into you, but you have to be comfortable with the idea that you are at peace while not expecting something bad to happen. Okay, because I've been through that as well. It was hard for me to get past that way of thinking. It took a long time for me to get to that point where I'd be feeling good and then I'll start panicking like, oh my gosh, every time stuff is okay, something goes wrong. You're manifesting that shit into your reality. No, that's not the goal. Okay. And I know some of you probably felt like, damn, I kept going through that. Yes. When you keep going through the same thing over and over again, that's because there's some type of lesson that you're not learning. Like, I'm definitely giving you some gems right now because I had to learn that the hard way. I didn't have nobody, like, I had no guidance. Okay. I really didn't have no guidance. And it was frustrating. Okay. But yeah, this is your second confirmation, okay? You are the star, okay? You are the main character. If you ever watch that movie, The Truman Show, you're Truman, okay? You are the one that people envy and they don't know why. You are the one people love and they get so scared that they hurt you. It's stupid, it's crazy, and it is what it is. And it's because of how loyal you are. For some of you, you've met individuals and you were the most loyal person they have ever been around. You were the most faithful person, the most pure person, the most genuine person that they have ever been around. And it's like individuals come around you and they feel so fulfilled, but then they feel like this can't be real. This can't be real. And then they go and self-sabotage it. And then in the end, you're left feeling hurt. It does not make no sense. But that's literally, divine guidance. All right. Because now the lesson, if that is something that keeps happening to you over and over again, because that is a common thing that happens a lot to people, the lesson that you're supposed to learn if you're in that situation is standing on your own 2 feet and not giving too much if you're not getting a lot in return. Right? If someone is meant to be in your life, they are going to not mirror your energy in a low vibrational way, but they're going to naturally mirror that energy. Because sometimes we share too much because I'm an oversharer. And that shows people exactly how to act to just play with you, you know but you have to learn how to feel whole and feel complete on your own, feel fulfilled on your own, feel rich even if you have a dollar. That is fulfillment. Okay, that is fully standing in your divinity and standing in your power where nothing or nobody can make you waver your faith when it comes to the most high and his plan for you. I promise you. Okay, that is the faith, that is the divine faith in God that Jesus had when he was on that cross. 'Cause they dragged him on that cross, nailed him to that cross. Did he forsake God? No. You feel me? He kept his faith. He suffered and he kept his faith. These people were watching him suffer and he kept that faith. That is the faith we're having because we're not physically on a cross. But when you stand in your divinity, there are going to be individuals that are going to attack you. And sometimes they're going to be close to you, and sometimes it's going to be a complete stranger. And I felt that. And literally the other day at Aldi, it was insane. It was insane. The lady, it was insane. Okay, it was crazy because I was like, "Yo, like, what is wrong?" Like, I wasn't arguing back with her or anything, and I just said, like, "You need Jesus." Like, when she grabbed my stuff on my car, I was like, "You need Jesus," and it triggered her so bad. Oh, she was so mad, and I was like, "Lady, ew." Okay, so there could be someone that is going through a tower moment at this time. Okay, it could be a sudden change. It could be something where you're like, "Oh my gosh, like what? What's going on?" This is the perfect opportunity for you to find balance. Okay, it's helping you find balance, okay? To where you're setting your priorities, you're managing your time well, you are, making the right choices that you need to make, cutting off what you need to cut off, okay? Because a lot of times we lose a lot of things that we think that we needed and we think that we wanted, all right? And we're cutting it off, right? And that's your solitude, right? And then that's keeping you secure within yourself. So when individuals do come toward you, because you're going to have a lot of individuals that come toward you, when they come toward you, you're not just going to accept anything like, oh, you're smiling, or you're nice, or you're this. No, you're going to follow your intuition. You're going to pray to the Most High for guidance and confirmation that this person is meant to be in your life. It don't matter how pretty it look. It don't matter how much money they got. It don't matter how much they give you. It don't matter, right? That's like the situation, like, you're looking for a job, you really need to find a job. You really need some money. And this company calls you. You start working at the company because you like, boom, I just need a job, and then it's like a crazy work environment, and you like, well, what is this? That is why you ask the Most High for confirmation. Okay, always ask the Most High for confirmation. It don't matter what you're going through. That's called unwavering faith in God. Okay, because God will never forsake you. Things might get scary, but I promise you, God always comes through. Always. All right. And I be I be saying this, but I'm saying it again, okay? I was homeless. I was in a rental car. I had like maybe $5 in my account. I couldn't pay for another day for the rental car. I gotta return this car in like 3 hours. I know what to do. I'm calling 211. I'm calling social workers trying to get help. They didn't have no space. They didn't have nowhere for me to go. I was like, yo, what do I do? I don't even know how to be homeless. I don't know where I can sleep. I was like, I was fully prepared to sleep outside, right? I didn't know where to even sleep outside because where I was at, it was just buildings and stuff. Like, I didn't know where to go. And literally, probably like 30 minutes before I had to return the car, because I was like, man, I ain't returning this car. Even if they shut the car off, hell, I'm gonna just sleep in this car. They called me at the literally like 30 minutes before I had to return the car. They called me and said that they had space for me at a shelter. Okay. And it wasn't the nicest shelter, but hell, it was something. It was better than sleeping outside or racking up a crazy fees, still in a rental car pretty much. So like, you have to have faith. Okay. I've had times where I didn't have no food and I have two kids. All right. No help. And I was debating going to the store to go steal. Okay, I didn't give a damn. I was about to go steal some bread. I was about to go steal some tuna, some sausages. I was about to go in there and steal, and I got nervous. Like, how do I even like? What if I get caught? That's embarrassing. What if I go to jail? Da, da, da. And I promise you, God always came through every time. To the point now, like I don't have the most money in the world. Don't get me wrong, but I'm able to afford food now, right? And I still get help from my kids' school. My kids' school sends like canned food, tuna and stuff. And I could have said like, we don't need it anymore. And I was like, no, I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that to either share with someone else or to just have it in abundance to just keep it. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things like you just have to have faith. Okay, you just have to have faith. Okay, I know that things might be hard for you. I know that things might be rough, and you're like, damn, I don't know how to move forward. I don't know what to do next. I promise you, pray. Pray to the Most High for guidance. Tell the Most High thank you. Even though, you know what I'm saying? Even though I got this, that going on, God, thank you for bringing me through another day. All right. Even if you have to take it day by day, I've been there. I couldn't worry about next week because I had to worry about how I was going to survive tomorrow. Like appreciate it. Appreciate that you have that opportunity. All right. Appreciate that you are even to be able to pray because there are people right now that are struggling and they won't even pray. All right. It's people out here that blame God for everything wrong in their lives when it's literally they're doing it wrong. And the Most High God is forgiving. You can pray to God for forgiveness, you can repent. And these people are choosing not to do it. And they're using their free will to do that. And you think that God is going to leave you hanging and you're a faithful servant? You're nuts. Okay. You will never get left hanging. That's why I say if you are struggling right now with something, anything that you are struggling with, look at the silver lining of it because I promise you there is a lesson that you need to learn. And once you solidify and learn that lesson and make it known to God that you have learned your lesson, I promise you the energy is going to shift. I promise you. I promise you. Because sometimes we hold on to shit that really be messing us up. It really be, and we don't be realizing it. And it's all about finding this balance. If anything, if anything that you're doing is leaving you feeling unbalanced, if it's leaving you feeling crazy, if it's leaving you feeling some type of way that's anything other than feeling high vibrational, you got to walk away from it. and not be afraid, because you're walking away from the darkness to the light, right? And the more that you acknowledge your light, the more that you acknowledge the divinity and the God that is within you, I promise you, things will feel better for you. Okay. And somebody, you can also, like, if you've been struggling to have like balance when it comes to like your emotions, definitely focus on, you can listen to a third eye frequency, a root chakra frequency, or a crown chakra frequency. And also, if you just feel like, I don't know which one to do, they have the videos for all the frequencies, okay? And that helps a lot. It helps a lot. And that also helps you fight off negative warfare if you're having nightmares. So say if you're struggling with nightmares and things of that nature, like, you could definitely do that as well. Something as simple as saying a prayer over a cup of water. You have your water. All right, this my water from my diffuser. But if you have your water, and say if you're sad or something, pray over it. God, I pray to bless this water with the strength that I need to make it another day and drink it. Okay? Like, you could do that. All right? Because all you gotta do is pray about it. You feel me? But if you want to physically do something, to make you physically feel it, that you're doing it, to feel that water going into your body, and to feel that, you get in the shower and you're praying, God, I pray that you wash away all this negative energy people are trying to project onto me, and you're imagining it washing away as you're in the shower. That's called manifestation. That's all that it is. All right. Like, you don't have to be all fancy and buy a whole bunch of foo-foo stuff, or purchase readings and stuff like that. You don't have to do stuff like that. Sometimes all you have to do is pray. Okay? Sometimes all you have to do is pray. Literally. And that's what's going to lead to this victory. That's what's going to lead to you feeling successful. That's what's going to lead to all the rewards that, you're waiting for, you know? All the achievements. But you also have to be proud of yourself for getting this far. Okay? You have to. Because divine judgment, this is what's happening right now in the world. And that's why people are going crazy right now. Because we're no longer the underdogs. Everyone that is meant to stand in their divine power is doing so already. And if they're not on the right program, you can clearly see it. You can see it in their eyes. You can see it in how they act. You can see it in how they walk, look. You can see it. Okay. And sometimes with some individuals, they stink. Them people that be doing that negative spell work and, dabbling in the darkness. Okay. They stink. And it's because that negative energy is coming up off of them. They can't hide it no more. There's no more beauty magic. There's no more of that doing that magic again. They can't do it. And another thing, when it comes to you being a divine being, can't nobody attack you. So stop believing that. Stop believing that somebody is attacking you. Because when you believe it, that's what's manifesting it. We say your desires are becoming a reality. If you're thinking something negative, that's when something negative is going to happen. Okay? You are like the one calling the divine judgment. Okay? That's why I say to be positive, be optimistic. All right? Because you have times where you're doing your reflections and things of that nature. But if you are waking up and you're like, I hope this doesn't happen today, and you're saying something bad, and that bad things happen, you can't blame it on somebody wishing bad on you, bro. You have to be optimistic. Okay? Like, literally. Yeah. You gotta release not trusting yourself, release not trusting that the divine has your back. Do everything. Whoever I'm talking to, like, you're definitely a survivor. You have been through a lot. And that's why, it might be a little bit difficult. Like it might be a little bit difficult to, re-alter your brain as to not think that something negative is going to happen. Okay. So definitely write that down. That is also a good way to cleanse your energy. That is also a good way to help with intrusive thoughts. Okay, because I struggled with that as well in the past. And sometimes I do be thinking negative sometimes, and I be like, girl, relax. Like sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you talk to yourself in the third person, like, chill out. You have a negative thought. Hey, relax, chill with all that. Like, do that. Okay, because you see how I'm laughing a little bit? That's how I be. Like, if I think something like, dang, this is so frustrating. And then I'll be like, girl, chill. Like, you'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do that. Okay. Hype yourself up. All right. Build yourself up. How you want another person to motivate you and to bring you down, to a good, you got to be able to do that for yourself. Okay. Because right now, your 3D body is coming into union with your higher self. Okay. That's what we're doing. You're bridging the gap. And every time you are, journaling, healing your inner child, that is helping you to unite with your higher self. All right. So definitely, spend some time in the mirror. Yeah. And that also helps to up your spiritual defenses. Standing in the mirror, doing those self love affirmations, telling yourself that you love yourself, that is helping you to defend yourself against these negative energies. Okay. Because you do got to be persistent. You got to be persistent. Because at the end of the day, I will not fail, right? Because you're not. Anytime you're moving towards God, that's the winning team. Period. Period. Like, you will not fail. Yeah, there was definitely someone trying to manipulate you in some kind of way. And it was like an abuse of power as to where they did feel powerful at some point in time, but now they have been stripped of this power as you've been standing in your divinity. What about this King of Swords in reverse? And somebody also felt like they were like they were like like the Hulk. Like somebody thought that, strength just equated to like physicality. And they're learning real quick, like it's not just about a physical strength, it's about spiritual strength. It was an illusion. Okay. Definitely, you could have like some anxieties. Deep breathing exercises help a lot with anxieties. Okay. There's one that I was actually when I was in CDL school, like I was so nervous before I took my test. And this one man, like he told me a good trick. So I'm gonna tell you. He said to breathe in, right? Breathe in all the way. And then once you are full of breath, take like three or four like sharp breaths in. So I'm gonna show you what I mean. Like do that and then breathe out super slow through your nose or through your mouth. That instantly helps with your anxiety. Okay, so that is something that you can do if you ever feel anxious or even if you feel like frustrated. Because somebody is very empathic. So you kind of like, you're real sensitive. You're real sensitive to different energies. And sometimes it's hard to avoid that. So avoid, memories, to avoid like people, you know, but you have to like set clear boundaries. Okay. If you're around somebody and you don't want to shake their hand, don't shake their hand. If you don't want someone to touch you, you know what I'm saying? You have to stand up for yourself, stand in your power, have clear communication, okay? You don't have to be rude. That's not rude to tell somebody to respect your boundaries, okay? If they're not committed to respecting your boundaries, they're not committed to respecting you, okay? So, like, yeah, you'll be okay because you're providing the support for yourself that you've been wanting for a long time. Your passion is going to lead to long-term success, okay? This passion for life, love, God. that is going to push you further. Okay, when it comes to heartbreaks, when it comes to traumas, when it comes to things that have happened to us in the past, or even things that happen now, that could be hurting you in some type of way, it's not going to go away. You're not going to just forget about it magically, but every day as you heal, that wound is going to heal more and more and more, as to where it's not going to affect you as much as it did in the past. That's why I always say to recognize and respect your past and who you were in the past, because you've grown from that individual. You will never go back, because once your eyes are open, there's no way to close them. All right. Once you are aware of your divinity and the divine light that you have, and the divine light that you carry, there's no going back. All right. Let go of that fear that you're going to wake up one day and be in that depression, in that anger, in that sadness, in that toxicity, whoever you were in the past. You have to make peace with that person, because that person that you were brought you to where you are today. All right. And that's called having a balance between your light and your shadow. All right. Because now you're learning how to control that shadow. You're trying to control that anger, that sadness. You're trying to control that anxiety. All right. And you're working on it, but you have to acknowledge the growth that you've made. Okay. Yeah. Once you acknowledge the growth that you have made, that is when you are ready for your wishes to come true. Okay. That is when you are ready for these achievements to really manifest in the 3D, for this material success that you've been waiting for to come in, this abundance. Okay. But you have to accept you for who you are, 100%, even the past you. Okay, because you had to go through those things in the past, and they were probably horrible. Okay, I've been through some horrible shit. Okay, but I know that even though it was horrible, I made it through to the other side. I didn't stay a victim. I didn't stay stuck in that. All right, I had something crazy happen to me when I was 7. It took a long time for me to get over it and let go of the anger of it. And now I know it was horrible. I didn't deserve that to happen to me. But at the end of the day, my strength got me through, even as a 7-year-old, because I could have died, you know, could have did something to hurt myself. I've had times where I was so deep in my depression where I actually tried to unalive myself multiple times, and God would not let me do it. Wouldn't. I done took a whole thing of hills and went outside and laid down in the snow. Like, yes. And I literally remember just walking back to the home. I don't remember like how I got there, because I was just walking far as I could away from the house I was staying at. And I was like, I'd rather just die in the snow. I didn't have no jacket on or nothing, and I don't know how. I To this day, I can't even tell you how. I done cut my wrists. I done did a whole bunch of stuff, and it's like I was like, it's not time for you to go yet. And that's how I should think about it too. If you went through things like that in the past, because it is hard, but it's a reason why you still here. It's a reason why you're still here. Okay, it's a reason why you still here. All right. Any more messages, Holy Spirit, in closing? Yeah. Yeah. So someone could be having a fear of the unknown at this time. Pray for clarity and pray for guidance, okay? All right, with this Ace of Wands, encourage yourself. There is a song, it's literally called Encourage Yourself. It's a gospel song. Listen to that song. Okay? It's a beautiful song. I'm trying to think of the artist. I don't remember her name, but it's called Encourage Yourself. And it will definitely help to wake up your spirit. Because you got to get in the business of encouraging yourself, I promise you, because sometimes individuals are going to try to get at you. They're going to try to attack you, and sometimes you have to rely only on yourself. Because sometimes, like, people will see an injustice happening and they just will sit there and not say nothing. And nowadays, motherfuckers will just pull their phone out, instead of helping. Um, yeah, it's all about you. Yeah, you remain in balance. That's what's going to lead to these new opportunities for you. Okay. And then also sound decision makers. Yes, Tasha Cobbs. Tasha Cobbs. But that's my song. I love that song. And then also there's another what is that song called? He's Able by it's like the Tri-City Singers. Like I know He's Able was originally by Dietrich Haddon, but it's another remix. And I always watch it like it's a video on YouTube actually with it's called He's Able and it's like Tri-City Singers and this other man. That is a good song as well. Yeah. But definitely somebody needs to definitely, just work on motivating yourself, okay? You're stronger than you think. You're stronger than you think. All right? This is you. All right? The sword is your spirit. You are strong. See? It's a reason why both of these they came out together. All right? You are extremely strong. Okay? You have God got your back. Your ascended ancestors, your angels, Archangel Michael fighting on your behalf, but you also have strength as well. Okay? Stand in that power, stand in that divinity. You can provide yourself this clarity on how to move forward in a situation that you're not really sure about. That's why it's always recommended that you journal. If you're not a writer, if you don't like writing, you can record yourself doing a video journal. If you don't feel comfortable recording yourself, hell, stand in the mirror and have a conversation with you. Okay? There's nothing wrong with doing that. Standing in the mirror, looking at yourself in the eyes, that's talking to your higher self. That's pouring into your own cup. All right. Because at the end of the day, we all we got sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we all we got. All right. And you got to be confident within that. Be secure within that. It's not about nobody coming to save you. It's not about somebody coming to show you love that you've never had before. No, because you're going to give that love to yourself. And once you are able to give that love to yourself, God is going to bring somebody that is going to help your cup overflow. But you are right now in the process of filling your own cup. All right. You guys definitely moving on the right path. Honestly, when it comes to this spread, it's like judgment is being cast on these individuals that keep trying to play in your face. Somebody's definitely being tormented. Somebody's being tormented by whatever dark entity they were trying to attach to you. That entity saw you and did an about dang face and went right back to that person. So they definitely they dodging that same damn entity that they tried to sent to you to try to affect your forward momentum, but you came up as a star and you came up as a star twice. Okay, and with this hierophant you sitting on your throne standing as a leader, so you have to move in that energy, you have to walk in that energy. All right, heavily being confident within yourself. Never feel bad for loving yourself too much. The limit does not exist when it comes to your happiness, when it comes to your confidence, when it comes to your joy, when it comes to your abundance, when it comes to your blessings. Okay, when it comes to God's love for you, your love for God, your love for you, your love for your future, there's no limit. Okay. Sometimes we're gonna get knocked down, but sometimes when we get knocked down, and what the lesson that we learn from getting knocked down, that provides you with clarity. Okay. You have to just find a new perspective. Okay. And sometimes that is rough. It is rough sometimes. We go through hard times, and sometimes we just want to damn complain. Talk to God. If it's something you worried about, if it's something you frustrated about, talk to God. Sometimes we be too reliant on like people. No, sometimes all you need is God. And I'm telling you this, I'm not just saying it. I ain't just saying it. I've had moments where it was just me, myself, and I. I didn't have nowhere else to turn but to God. That helped build my relationship with trusting God in the hardest time of my life. Okay? People was looking at me crazy. People was looking at me crazy and I didn't care. Because what I'm not going to do is turn my back on God. Because I was never forgotten about. God just had to sit me down on my ass. And I had to learn that hard lesson because I was holding on to individuals that really did not want to see me shine. Okay. And listen, and when I say individuals, I'm not just talking about a baby daddy. I'm talking about my husband. I'm talking about my mother, my father. Okay. Rough. It's hard. It gets hard. It gets hard, but you got the strength to make it through. Okay? You have the strength and the power to make it through, and you're building up that power every single day. Every day. Every day that you focus on your healing, every day that you focus on loving yourself, right? You got this. You got this. All right? For you to get this far in your journey, it's been your faith in God, but you took that action. You took that step. You feel me? God didn't make you take no steps. God gives you the you could. You get what I'm saying? That's what God is doing. And you chose to walk on this path. So be proud of it. Sometimes it gets hard, but keep that faith, okay? Because it's always going to get a little hard. But you're not being punished. It's just a lesson that you got to learn. Okay? So find the lesson in what it is. And I know it's rough. I know it's hard. You probably got some shit happening that you feel like, damn, like I don't even deserve what's happening to me right now. Sometimes that's God telling you that's why you need to walk away. All right. If a person keeps burning you, if a person keeps doing things that, they really shouldn't be doing, like sometimes the lesson is you learning how to choose you for once. Right? You don't always have to give and give and give and give because you could pour as much love as you can into somebody, but sometimes it's a bottomless damn well, and you gonna pour, and then when you drain, they ain't gonna pour back into you. Sometimes you have to have the strength to walk away. Absolutely, yes, because God will never forsake you. I promise you, it's rough out here. Like it is, okay, and we all here. So go through this journey and come out on the other side because God will never forsake us. But it's really crazy out here because we fighting warfare. We fighting a lot of warfare. That's why you got to be careful about what you're doing. You got to be careful about the music you're listening to, what you're consuming. And that's not to say, oh, you can't listen to the stuff you like to listen to. But if it's stuff that you're watching and stuff that you're listening to, if it's affecting you negatively, okay, that's when you know that something ain't right. All right. That's when you know something ain't right. Because the more that you go in your journey, the more that you go in your journey, that's gonna make it um honestly easier. Like it'll make it easier for you to close your energy off to where you're not just absorbing everything around you. Okay. And that's why it's prevalent that you remain balanced, you remain grounded. Okay. Hey, what time is it? It's 9:53. All right, you got 7 minutes, boo. Let her watch the computer with you. Y'all got 7 minutes before bed anyway. Oh, here. Nah, you call everything boring. Why she can't laugh? Boring. That's his favorite word. He called everything annoying or boring. All right, I'm actually gonna use this deck. So I'm gonna do some closer messages for y'all. All right, Holy Spirit, any closing messages? Okay, so there's somebody that tried to, they wanted to cause some type of conflict or to have some type of tension, and they're feeling disappointed because it's not working out in the way that they thought it would. Somebody thought that they were a player, and they're currently feeling like bitter and betrayed. So somebody pretty much got like betrayed the way that they tried to be like, somebody tried to stab you in your back, but you walked away. So you pulled the sword out, and then they met somebody that did to them what they were trying to do to you. That's crazy. Oh yeah, definitely at their age. You said they even attack my dreams. I said listen to some chakra frequencies as you're sleeping. Okay. So what you can do is take a cup of water, put some salt, put that cup of water either at the head of your bed or at the end of your bed or under your bed. Just put it by your bed, and that can help to clear up your energy as you're sleeping. If you feel like you're being attacked in the dream state, but to be real, the energy that I'm picking up, even with the way you wrote it, you're focused too much on enemies. Okay, you're focusing too much on who's attacking you, what they doing wrong, shift that perspective on what you're doing. Okay, focus on you and what you're doing, how you're healing, how you're growing. Focus on your breathing techniques. Focus on listening to music that lifts your spirits, lifts your energies. You can't be so focused on someone attacking you or somebody doing something negative to you because it has your attention. You get what I'm saying? Like, yes, even when I do my readings, karmic energy pops out. I'm a reader for you, but what I'm not going to do is to keep focusing on it. Y'all have enough readers out here that's just always giving you all the details of these karmics. I'm not trying to do that. I want you to be open up to your light so where it don't even matter no more. All right. So where you're not concerned about what the karmics is doing. But sometimes it is stuff that you need to hear. All right. So if you truly do believe that you are being attacked in your dream state, take some water, put some salt, put it by your bed, and go to sleep. See, with this death card, like it's about a transformation. Okay, you got to get rid of that excess. Like you can't focus too much on the negativity. You know, yeah, but if you're trying to push them away, why are you calling them your enemies? They're not your enemies. They're just negative individuals. But don't claim that. All right. You saying that they're your enemies is keeping that attachment that they have to you and you to them. They don't matter in your world anymore. You're not talking to them. You're not around them. You're not, worried about them being in your life. You're not trying to hold on to them. Well, I hope not, So you're pretty much moving on with your life as if they don't exist. You're healing yourself from the pain that they have caused, but they don't matter in your life anymore. Right? They don't hold any weight in your life anymore. That's how you have to think about it. All right? Like literally, they did what they did, but the situation is death to that situation. You feel me? If they want to continue to attack you, if they want to do negative things, spread rumors, spread gossip, whatever, let them do them. The divine is going to get on them. But as long as you're focusing on your healing, your happiness, your joy, your abundance, you're focusing on everything that is important to you and keeping yourself grounded, that is going to call judgment. Because if someone is attacking you, and you're focused on healing, what makes you think the divine not gonna get on their ass? Because you're doing your job. You're trying to help the collective consciousness by healing. And they're trying to attack you. That means they're attacking God. That's not happening. Okay. So work on separating that. Okay. And I know it's hard. If you get frustrated, if you feel like that, write it down. Okay, write down these feelings that you're having about these individuals. If you feel like somebody's trying to attack your dream state, write it down in your dreams. Write down, I said write it down in your dreams. Write down your dreams, okay? And if you want to write it down, ball it up and throw it outside so you could feel that, it's gonna help. Yeah, but like, you get what I'm saying? You gotta ground your energy. Walk in some grass, sit in the sunlight, sit in the moonlight. Like, that's the things that help you, okay? Because you even saying it is claiming the energy. Okay, when it comes to these negative entities, they feed off of these reactions, they feed off of fear, they feed off of anxiety, they feed off of anger. Do not give them the satisfaction. All right, if you feel like somebody's trying to telepathically attack you, stand in that mirror and tell yourself how much you love yourself, how amazing you are, how beautiful you are, how strong you are, how protected you are. Alright? That's what you doing. You think they like that? Hell nah. They don't like that. They gonna go find the next one that's easier to attack. Okay? Yeah, because these individuals in your energy, they scatterbrain. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. Gossiping, trying to play mind games, they're careless, and they gonna get they just due. And most of the times, their karma is watching you rise in the power. Because you came up as the high priestess. So you have intuitive gifts. Focus on, strengthening those gifts. Okay. If you feel as if somebody's trying to telepathically attack you, if you hear the message, right? You hear the message? Respond to the message. Leave me alone. God is going to get on your ass for trying to attack me. Respond to the message. I have been through the same thing. Respond. Okay? The same way they can telepathically try to send messages, you could send that shit back. Okay? And look at yourself in the mirror, pour into yourself. All right? And that helps. All right? Because you're very intuitive. All right? You're very, very intuitive. But at this time, you got to start fighting back. Like, that spread I just had, like the whole first half of the spread, like it was about standing your ground, speaking up. And even if it's not about actually calling these people, reaching out to these people, it's just saying it out loud. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems as though you know who's trying to attack you. All right. So you know who's trying to attack you. So tell God. People be like, I'm going to call my mama. Call your daddy. Okay? God, I feel like so and so is trying to attack me. Please get them. Okay. Yes. Of course. Of course they're angry. They're angry because they cannot sleep. They're angry because they have no peace. They're angry because every time they look in the mirror, they are not proud of what they see. Can't say the same for you because you're proud of yourself. You love what you see in the mirror. Keep standing in that power. They hate themselves. That's why they're trying to hate and spread hate, throughout the world. But it's not working. And that's why they're mad. Like, you gotta laugh at it. Like, literally, okay? Being defensive, being strong willed, doing that work, okay? This is the time where you're standing up in your divinity. If you gotta let somebody know where they got you fucked up at, let them know. Stand up for yourself. All right? Y'all seen all them stories in the Bible? They wasn't just letting people just do whatever to them. You seen how they did Jesus on that cross? We not going for that. Okay? We're not going for that. Stop. Don't let nobody play with you. And also don't claim that energy of these people doing whatever they're doing. Because the fact that you are acknowledging it is giving them power, okay? And I know that's annoying. It is. It's annoying, but that's just how it is. You have to not acknowledge it and continue to pour into yourself. If you feel like something is an attack, go stand in that mirror and tell yourself how much you love yourself. That's the counter, okay? Because you're focusing on healing, you're focusing on loving yourself, okay? And that is what's going to help you to move forward, okay? What did I say? I can't make this up. All right. Every time, if you feel like somebody is trying to attack you in any kind of way, do something to show yourself that you love yourself, nurture yourself. Even if it's you feel just frustrated out of nowhere, go eat some ice cream, go eat a snack, go, take a shower, stand in the mirror, something. All right. Or even if you tell yourself, I love myself, I'm divinely guided and protected by the Most High and my ascended ancestors. Archangel Michael, please go whoop their ass. Something. Okay. You embody this divine love. Okay. Stand in that power, walk in that power. All right. Because your intuition is guiding you. Your intuition is definitely guiding you. You just got to speak up for yourself. All right. You got to be defensive and protective over yourself and your energy. Yeah. It's a generational curse. So I don't know if it's somebody from your family, if it's somebody that you used to be close to or whatever, but this individual is under a generational curse. All right? So they stuck. They probably going to be like that forever. And it's like they want you to give to them, but you're not. All right? So give to yourself. All right? Give to yourself. These individuals are going to attack you. They're going to keep attacking you. They don't care. They'll probably attack you until their last breath. That's not your business. Focus on your healing. All right? Focus on your self-control, your self-reflection. And it's not going to affect you as much as it is, okay? And they definitely do want attention in any way possible. And they about to get some attention, all right? They about to get some attention. The chariot is the fastest moving card in the deck. And you loving on yourself, you nurturing yourself is making the judgment get on their ass even faster. Okay? Because you are victorious. You're already victorious. Okay? You just have to stand in that power and thank God for this victory. Okay? Because these individuals, they were trying to put out spell work. They wanted you to die. Like somebody was doing death magic. Okay? And I usually don't get in depth when it comes to these type of readings, but I can't lie, like the message is strong. Somebody was trying to do death fucking magic. And it's coming off to you as if it's to frustrate you and you're irritated and whatever, but they wanted you to die. And the fact that all it's doing is getting on your nerves, that proves how much power you have. And that's why they're mad as shit. Because they expected you to not be living anymore. All right. So this is that time where you continue to thank God. You continue to pour into yourself. You continue to love in yourself. Okay. You continue to grow. Okay. Because they're gonna be mad forever. Because they probably did magic on others and it worked on others. But it's not working on you. And that's the fuck why they're mad. And they're gonna stay mad. They're gonna stay mad. Okay. Because through all these attacks, you're still kind, you're still compassionate, you're still loving, and you still have divine love coming your way. Okay, whether it's in the form of family, your soul tribe, whether it's in the form of romantic connections, you have love coming your way. All right. But right now, you have to be kind and compassionate to yourself. And a part of being kind to yourself is speaking up. Okay. Defending yourself. Okay. Don't let nobody play with you. Period, point blank. And you know, you gotta find that passion for yourself. That passion that you feel like when you meet somebody new and you just feel so excited, like that feel it's not even excited, it's like a different, like passionate feelings. Like you have to build up that passion for you now. Okay? You gotta nurture yourself. And also being confident within yourself. Yeah. The change is coming in rapidly. It's coming in rapidly when it comes to you being able to celebrate, you being able to feel whole, to feel fulfilled, to not feel like you're fighting off all this warfare. You have a lot of stability coming through and also a lot of security. Okay. You definitely have someone coming towards you. Um, they want to take some type of action to help protect you in some type of way. Okay. So I don't know if it's romantic. I don't know if it's, a friendship or just something to where it's like a new home or a new job or I don't know, but something's going to have you feeling very protected in the 3D cuz maybe it's like you want to see it. Yeah, cuz with this Queen of Swords like you're very protective over yourself and it seems as though you are very insightful. Like you're a seer. You're definitely a seer. But now you have to walk in that power and not be intimidated by your gifts, okay? Yeah, because that's how these individuals are controlling you. You doubting your gifts. Stop doubting your gifts, okay? Stop doubting your gifts. What I say? This is what's coming in. This is the next step for you. Is joy, is new love, personal growth, compassion, this emotional awakening. That's what you're going through is an emotional awake. Clarify this Ace of Cups, Holy Spirit. Yeah, you're having an emotional awakening. Once you release this hurt and pain from the past that happened, with the trauma, the heartbreak, the sadness, this is what's coming right after that. Once you release this heartbreak, okay, you're going to see a lot of results come in once you release it, okay? So maybe you need to block some people. Maybe you need to just cut communication. Maybe you need to write it down, pray to the Most High that you're releasing these individuals. You can also say, I call all my energy back for all the times that I gave it away in order to feel loved and accepted. That's a good thing to do. You can say that in the mirror, you can say that in your prayer, whenever. Call your energy back. But all this emotional pain that others like inflicted onto you once you release that, and it's gonna take a little work, but journaling, inner child healing, writing down your feelings, praying to the Most High, you got it. All right, you got this. hmm You're very abundant. And then you also have a lot of abundance that is on the way to you. It's just that you have to separate yourself and remove these individuals from your energy because they were going to take it from you, period, point blank. And that's the only reason why you didn't get it. Yeah. So you may be going through financial losses, or you did at one point in time. And, the fact that you're happy working on yourself, building up your skills, being happy, building up your skills, focusing on your crafts, your talents, your accomplishments, being ambitious, that is fighting off of this poverty, of this struggle. Okay. And also this isolation. Your isolation period is going to end once you fully release the hurt from your past. Yeah, you got to be compassionate with yourself, being kind to yourself. You're being called to really be gentle with yourself, okay? And also to seek some kind of counseling or therapy. And if you're not comfortable, seeking counseling or therapy, you can go to the library and get one of those therapy books or even go on Google and look up journaling prompts. That helps a lot, okay? Mhm. And that's gonna help you gain a lot of clarity and release a lot of fears. So definitely look up some inner child healing, look up some journaling prompts for shadow work, because shadow work is literally just another word for journaling your feelings. It's just shadow work has, questions, to ask. But that's gonna help you conquer the anxiety and also release any suppressed emotions that you may have, okay? Yeah, these are my last two cards. Standing in your power. You standing in your power, sitting on your throne, walking in your divinity. You're not walking with your head down. You're walking with your head up high. All right, because the battle is won. Okay, but judgment will be called on these individuals because they're already going through it, but they really about to catch that karma once you stand in your authority and your power. Okay, you have divine gifts. Stop doubting it. Your dreams is telling you, your intuition is telling you, you seeing signs and synchronicities, you seeing angel numbers, you seeing it. You have a feeling some shit about to happen and it happened. You know, okay? Stop doubting yourself. Stop doubting yourself. Pretty much. Stop doubting yourself. Yeah. Stop doubting yourself. That is why you feel stuck. Okay, that is why you feel like things is not moving. That's why you feel like it's a lot of hidden information that's not being revealed. But you know it. You know shit that nobody else knows. Yeah. Set a goal for yourself. What you could do is when you get these downloads, when you get these dreams, when you get these messages, write them down. Okay? Write them down and then just write down how it made you feel. That's going to open up you strengthening your gifts. Okay? Pretty much. That's gonna open up you strengthening your gifts. But for one, you have to accept the fact that you have a spiritual gift. You're a divine being. Okay? So you gotta believe in yourself. That's why it's real big with the confidence. If you're not ready to do that, if you're not there yet, stand in the mirror, do some self-love affirmations, okay? Because it all starts with loving yourself. I promise. And it seems so simple, but that shit ain't easy, bro. There's a lot of people walking around here that do not love themselves. They don't. They don't. They might make it seem like it, but at the end of the day, they don't. All right. So definitely, stand in the mirror, pour into yourself. That's really the only thing I can tell you is to pour into yourself. That's the homework. Pour into yourself. Okay. And if you're having some unsavory dreams, once again, you can listen to some nature sounds. Waterfall is also a good sound to listen to with these frequencies. You can listen to all chakra frequencies, pick whatever frequency you want. Even if you see an angel number, look up the frequency for that angel number. Listen to it while you're sleeping. And that'll help to cleanse your energy and to help clear all the crap that could be in the dream state. All right. So I hope y'all have a good night. Continue to live and love and light. Bye.